In January 2008, a 19-year-old college student vanished without a trace from a friend's home in Reno, Nevada. What began as a missing persons case quickly spiraled into one of the most haunting crimes in the state's recent memory. This wasn't a random disappearance. It was a carefully executed abduction, committed by a predator who had already struck before and would have likely done so again. This true crime documentary takes you through the devastating story of Brianna Denison, a vibrant young woman whose life was taken far too soon. From her last known moments to the breakthrough that cracked the case, we follow the chain of events that led to justice. Her story not only shocked the nation, but also helped change how communities approach sexual assault investigations, pushing lawmakers to strengthen crime prevention systems. It was a case that forever altered Reno's sense of safety and drew nationwide attention to campus security flaws. The tragedy exposed how gaps in early investigation protocols can cost lives and leave communities shattered. 2. Background of the victim, who was Brianna Denison. Brianna Denison was born on March 29, 1988, and raised in Reno, Nevada. Known for her infectious laugh, kindness, and strong friendships, she had a bright future ahead of her. Brianna was attending Santa Barbara City College and was home on winter break in Reno, staying with a close friend. She was the kind of young woman who made people feel welcome and safe. Brianna loved art and was incredibly close to her mother and brother. She had plans to pursue psychology and help others. Her passion for helping people, particularly those dealing with mental health challenges, showed her deep empathy and emotional intelligence. She had a magnetic personality that made her a cherished daughter, sister, and friend. Tragically, the safety she gave others wasn't returned when she needed it most. Friends describe her as endlessly generous, always placing others' needs before her own, with a heart that radiated warmth and sincerity. 3. Timeline of events. The night everything changed. On the night of January 19th, 2008, Brianna attended a party with friends before returning to her friend's house near the University of Nevada, Reno. She fell asleep on the couch, while her friend went to her bedroom. By the morning of January 20th, Brianna was gone. The blanket she had been sleeping under was left folded on the couch. There were no signs of forced entry, but a blood stain on the pillow raised immediate concern. Her cell phone and purse were still there, but she had vanished. The urgency of the case intensified with each passing hour. Law enforcement launched a massive search, and her family and friends pleaded for help, refusing to believe she had left voluntarily. Volunteers canvassed the neighborhood, distributing flyers, knocking on doors, and checking nearby areas to uncover any clue about her disappearance. Search parties covered riverbanks, wooded areas, and college dorm zones, yet all leads led to dead ends. Her disappearance shook the community, who came together to support the family through donations, media coverage, and continuous hope. For the investigation, clues in the dark, detectives quickly determined foul play. DNA evidence was recovered from the couch where Brianna slept, and it linked to an unidentified male. Shockingly, this same DNA matched samples from 2 previous sexual assaults near the university, cases that had not yet been solved. Investigators realized they were hunting a serial predator. The FBI, local police, and volunteers launched one of the largest search efforts in Reno's history. Hundreds of tips flooded in. Billboards went up. National media picked up the story. The DNA evidence became the cornerstone of the investigation. It showed a pattern. The suspect used a sock as a gag and always struck at night, targeting young college women near campus housing. Despite the urgency, months passed with no arrest and no sign of Brianna. Investigators also began mapping prior incidents, trying to identify missed red flags and behavior patterns. The sense of urgency was palpable as community fear grew with each unanswered day. Law enforcement increased patrols, while students were advised to travel in groups and remain alert. 5. Breakthrough. A killer identified. On February 15, 2008, nearly a month after her disappearance, a sanitation worker discovered a suitcase in a field near a light industrial area. Inside were Brianna's remains. She had been strangled with a pair of thong-style underwear, and her body was carefully hidden, wrapped in plastic, and left to decay in the cold. The horror of the discovery reignited public outrage. Investigators doubled their efforts, And the DNA evidence finally paid off. A partial match was found in Cody's, the national DNA database. It led them to James Biela, a 27-year-old former Marine and pipe fitter. Biela's girlfriend had secretly taken their son to provide a DNA sample to police. The full match confirmed he was a rapist and Brianna's killer. He was already known for violent behavior and had a disturbing history of aggression that authorities had previously failed to fully examine. The breakthrough not only identified a suspect, but revealed systemic lapses in early responses to similar crimes. His capture was a relief to a terrified public who feared another victim was imminent. 6. Trial and outcome, justice for Brianna. James Biela was arrested in November 2008 and charged with the murder and sexual assault of Brianna Denison, as well as 2 prior rapes. In court, prosecutors presented overwhelming DNA evidence, witness testimony, and details of the sexual assaults that matched Biela's modus operandi. Biela pleaded not guilty. His defense argued that the DNA was mishandled and circumstantial, but the evidence was too strong. In May 2010, after weeks of trial, Biela was convicted on all counts. He was sentenced to death in June 2010. For Brianna's family, it was a painful but necessary end to an unimaginable nightmare. They have fought tirelessly to keep her story alive, and their persistence helped bring a monster to justice. The courtroom was filled with emotion, and many attendees wept as the verdict was read aloud. The ruling brought closure, but also exposed serious gaps in predator profiling and college safety measures. Advocacy groups began rallying for stronger sexual assault reporting and support structures. 7. Where are they now? Legacy and reform. James Biela remains on death row in Nevada, awaiting the outcome of various appeals. He has shown no remorse for his crimes. Meanwhile, Brianna's family has turned their grief into action. The case led to the creation of Brianna's Law, a bill requiring DNA samples from anyone arrested for a felony in Nevada. It passed in 2013 and has since helped solve numerous cold cases. The law was named in her honor and continues to serve as a beacon of hope for victims still awaiting justice. The law sparked national conversations about DNA databases and sexual assault prevention. Brianna's name became synonymous with resilience and reform, a symbol of how tragedy can inspire change. Public support for stronger protections and earlier DNA collection protocols has grown as a direct result. Her legacy continues to influence conversations on campus safety, women's protection, and legislative reforms. Educational institutions now use her story in training modules for campus safety officers and new student orientations. 8. Viewers' engagement. What do you think? Could this crime have been prevented if the earlier rapes were prioritized more aggressively? Should all felony arrestees be required to submit DNA? And what more can we do to protect vulnerable students living off campus? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Brianna's story isn't just heartbreaking. It's a wake-up call. Every action taken today could be the difference in tomorrow's tragedy. Share your ideas, experiences, or messages of support for her family. Spread this story to raise awareness. Your voice might empower someone to recognize the warning signs early and act before it's too late. Let's keep this important conversation going, because awareness leads to prevention. 9. Call to action. Keep her memory alive. If this story moved you, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more true crime deep dives. Your voice matters. By spreading awareness, you help ensure stories like Brianna's are never forgotten, and that justice is not only served but improved. Every view, every comment, every share can help raise awareness and push for reform. Let's make sure Brianna Denison's legacy endures, not just in memory but in action. Together, we can honor her legacy with change. So take a moment to engage, leave a comment, and keep this conversation going, because silence only empowers the next predator. Let's make sure her light never fades. Let's raise our voices not just in remembrance, but in commitment to building a safer, more vigilant world for all.